Hello there. Happy Friday. Welcome to Sacred Design Fridays with me. I am super happy to be here as every Friday and proud of myself for keeping up with it because that's on its own a victory. Today, I want to talk to you about this very simple ritual to create sacred space for your little ones if they are struggling with nightmares or anxiety. So, if you're a parent and your child is struggling with anxiety and or nightmares, I feel you, I hear you, and I know how challenging that can be. I have myself struggle with that, not just myself, but with my children as well. And it can be very stressful for us as parents, and it can be very stressful for our little ones too. So, today I want to share with you this very simple ritual that has worked really, really well, not just for my children, for myself, but also for my clients inside of my coaching program. So, there's a lot of reasons why children are prone to having nightmares and obviously anxiety as well. But specifically around nightmares, there's a lot of different, um, information that they're processing that can trigger them to have these nightmares. So a lot of times it's related to media, movies, billboards, video games. It can also have a relationship with what they're experiencing in their life. If they're going through bullying or rivalry with their sibling, like in a enhanced way, if they're having issues with friends, or if they're going through things inside the home, like divorce, moving to a new house, moving to a new school. And also, on a more kind of esoteric level, a lot of children in these generation also have more sensitivity to the energy of a space. They have more sensitivity to how they connect and what they feel in a space. So it's really important from the sacred parenting standpoint to validate that and to honor that experience, to reassure them and to support them and how they can help themselves and how we can help them transform that and have better sleep, have more peace, have more calmness around bedtime, especially because, you know, it's a recipe for disaster when kids are not getting the sleep they need. Then we have cranky kids, we have cranky, tired parents as well. And it just generally isn't serving them to be in that space of not getting good quality sleep. I know it also, for me, it's not only turned into many sleepless nights, but also for myself and for some of my clients, it turns into yelling at them or snapping at them or simply just disconnecting even more than we already are, which then only, makes them feel even more anxious and possibly have even more nightmares. So there's a really important way to, um, you know, there's a really important way in which I've learned to bring sacredness to our children's space that does not necessarily mean their rooms look the way we want. So it's not just about the design in terms of what we see, but I often talk about sacred design in terms of it's about creating an atmosphere that feels sacred. It's not just what it looks. God only knows I have surrendered fully to having any control around the way my kids' rooms look. While I would love and would dream of designing their space in the way I want, the truth is that is not going to happen. They already have their own taste, and most of it goes completely against what I like, which is cool. It's their space, not mine. Trust me, I've done the work of accepting that. But what I do get to do is bring sacredness to the energy of their space, to how it feels in that space, and to coach them and guide them into recognizing what feels good versus what doesn't feel good for them. So there are many ways that we have the ability to bring that sacredness to their space, and be able to support them in their mental health and their spiritual health and in their physical health or health, especially with sleep. So here's the few tips that I have for you. And I'm looking at my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. Number one, prevention is super important. So when it comes to having anxiety at night, when it comes to having nightmares, a lot of times, like my daughter, my youngest daughter now, she will like start to stall bedtime, or will just like, start to act up around bedtime, partly because she's already feeling anxious that she's going to have the nightmares later on. And so that alone creates conflict right there, right? Because it used to be that I was like, no, it's time for bed. Come on, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, let's move and go to bed, right? A lot of times, selfishly, it's because I'm just done in the day and I want my me time and I need them in bed. So, how I've changed that and shifted that over the years is by preventing those tantrums or those, conflicts before bed, by spending some time in the afternoon before bedtime in just talking to them, connecting with them, talking about their day, writing down their thoughts, processing what they've been through on that day, what's on their mind. And one of the ways I'm going to show you that I really like to do that is by journaling with my girls. Both of them really like it. I have a almost 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. My 8-year-old especially really, really likes to do this with me. My 12-year-old still does too, but it just depends on that teen mood. But this is one of the things that I really like. It's called the Mom and Me Journal. And we sit down and we just spend 10 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever, just sitting down and doing this exercise together, connecting. And it gives me a chance to talk to her about what she's going through. We have a couple of other like emotional activities that we do where we process our thoughts, reflect upon the day and just give them some emotional intelligence tools to process their feelings, their emotions, and feel more aware of themselves. So that's on a preventative side, something that has worked really well. I make some tea and I just sit with her and we just chill for a few minutes and just connect with each other in our thoughts and how we feel. Now, when it comes to bedtime, there's a couple things that I really love to teach parents and that I love to teach kids as well when I do workshops for little ones and when I do classes, yoga classes. I trained a few years ago in this program called Yoga for Youth, where we helped children in juvenile detention centers and foster care homes and orphanages how to become self-aware and gain tools for self-confidence, self-esteem, etc., etc. And in that approach, I really loved to also teach them about taking care of their own sacred space. So one of the things that I always make sure that we do is tidy up the room right before bedtime. So when we have an environment that's cluttered and untidy and dirty or whatnot, we are not able to relax. It's a lot easier to feel anxious. It's a lot easier to feel stressed in an environment where you can't find peace in where you look. So tidying up quickly is important. I make it fun, set a timer, do a competition of who puts things in their place faster. We'll do red, green, and yellow, which is green light means you go fast and you tidy up and put things where they go. Yellow light means you go a little bit slower. Red light means stop and just freeze for a minute, and then you keep doing. And this makes it fun for kids to tidy up. And again, it just creates that environment where they have a more peaceful space to relax in before bed. The other thing that I do is making sure that they have little rituals to cleanse the energy of the space. So my little one, Luna, loves to use a bell that looks like this. It's a peacock bell, and she rings it. And she actually made up a song. Oh, hi, Shivani. So good that you're here. She actually makes up a song. I'm not going to attempt to sing it to you, but it says something like, bad spirits go away, good spirits, you're welcome to stay. And she just goes around her room and rings it. She sleeps in a bunk bed now, so sometimes she just does it right around her bed, and it's really cute. She loves it. And this is just something that she loves to do right before bed. After that, she sprays her room with oils. And so she has this little spray bottle. Hers is actually decorated with stickers and little pictures of things that she likes. And so she sprays her room with lavender oil. There's another oil that I really love from Young Living called Peace and Calm. And so you just spray it, and it's meant to, calm the nervous system, calm the mind, really relaxing. I love it myself. It's great for me to be centered and to just know that I'm there to get her to go to sleep in the most peaceful way. She loves to spray it on her pillows and her stuffed animals, and it just creates this space where she can also breathe deeper. It encourages her to breathe. And if we are aware, and if we become aware of our breath, that's the number one tool to calm down our nervous system and be able to step aside from that level of anxiety where we might already be predicting, oh my God, I don't want to go to bed because I'm having these nightmares, right? So that just helps us calm down. Our breath creates space within our psyche, within our body, within our mind. And so without even teaching her to breathe at that time, the oils alone increase her breath, increase how much she inhales. And that's an amazing, amazing thing right there. Then she's also really good about using self care as part of how she calms herself down. So, on very good days when I have time and when we are like on time and it's early enough that I'm willing and I'm able, I'll give her like a little foot massage. Sometimes I pamper her with like doing gua sha on her face. I'm going to record a little video of her little ritual because it's the cutest thing. But she now has this Jade facial roller on her little shelf where she sleeps in her bunk bed. And she just loves to close her eyes and just do this on her face and just relax the tension around her jaw, around her forehead. Of course, when I first taught her this, I was walking her through this, and I was walking her through the process of just releasing her jaw and relaxing her eyes and connecting with her breath, softening her lips. And it just takes a few seconds. I'm making these really long as I'm explaining it to you, but it's really not. It's really, really a short 5-minute ritual altogether. The other thing we do is, again, apply a little oil to her feet. I recently learned in this amazing Ayurvedic course that I'm taking to apply sesame oil to the feet. And so she's now doing that. We were doing other kinds of oils on the feet, but now we've incorporated this Ayurvedic ritual to her bedtime routine. The other thing we do is then she goes ahead and grabs her crystals. She has a couple of crystals in her nightstand and places them under her pillow. We've talked previously around the power of these crystals and how they protect her at night, how they guard her off from spirits or bad dreams, amplify her prayers to the angels, if that's such a thing that you might believe in. This is something my kids grew up believing in. And we do that. And so right now, this is what she places under her pillow. It's a little bit big, but it also has a sentimental value because this is a little amulet that we made, a bunch of amazing friends of mine and I, during my blessing way when I was pregnant with her. And we blessed it and infused it with amazing prayers and intentions for her birth. And so this sentimental thing happens to also be crystals. So this is what she has under her pillow. For anyone who doesn't have this, you can either use a crystal, which kids love to shop for, or you can do any sentimental things that, remind you of a really good moment together, something you bought together. Sometimes it's a little blanket, sometimes it's a stuffed animal. I'm telling you, they are never too old to have these amulets and these sentimental things that they value. Even my 12-year-old, she might not really be happy with me sharing this, but I think she would be okay, actually. She still sleeps with some of her stuffed animals from when she was a baby, and that's okay. And she doesn't need it. Like if she goes to sleep somewhere else, she's fine. But there's comfort in those sentimental things that remind you you're safe, you are reassured that you're protected, and you're ready to have a good night's sleep. So Those are the main things that we do. Now, additionally, I always make sure that there's music playing in her room throughout the bedtime routine and really throughout the night. So we play a couple of different sleep playlists. You can find so many on Spotify or Alexa or Amazon or whatever you use for your music. I also really love the Kundalini yoga mantras, and I play them very, very low so that they're not disturbing, but they do help cleanse the energy of the space. And it just, again, creates the sensorial experience. The main thing we want to think of, guys, for creating these peaceful, calm environments is engaging all five senses. What does it smell like? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? Even what are you tasting? She sips tea right before bed as well, or has a little bit of warm milk or something like that, so that you're engaging all of those senses. What does it feel like? What kinds of bedding are we having, right? Is it like polyester or pokey or just uncomfortable materials, or are we using things that feel really yummy to the skin and to the touch? So those are those things. And then the last thing, I know this sounds like a super long ritual, but again, it's not. We do a really cute meditation. There's two that we do. So I'm going to teach them to you, and then I'm going to jump off to go pick her up from school. One that we do is with a mantra called Satanama. And Satanama is, I'm not even going to go into the specific meaning of it, but what this does is two things. One, you're encouraging connection with your child. Again, this is all about reassuring them, and part of doing that is being connected to them. So we do Sa-ta-na-ma, and then we clap hands together. Sa-ta-na-ma, Sa-ta-na-ma. We do it 3 times, 4 times. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. And then the other one we do is we just sing it. And it's a really cute mantra where you have your index finger, also called your Jupiter finger, which is the finger of wisdom. And we sing this little song. Don't you guys love it when I sing for you? Here's the song. I am happy. I am good. I am happy. I am good. I am happy. I am good. So it's a simple little affirmation that really, again, puts you in that state of mind. If you bring a smile to your face while you do that, even me, myself, like right now, I'm feeling so much better. It's a really good little simple thing to use so that you can be in that state of mind that is ready for rest, for rejuvenation, and for just a peaceful night. So those are the little things that we do before bed every single day. Consistency is key. Maybe you don't do all components of that. Maybe it's just the oil. Maybe it's just the bell. Maybe it's just a foot massage. Maybe it's just a roller. Maybe it's just a crystal. Maybe it's just the music. Maybe you just tidy up. Whatever it is, there's all these different components. We started with one at a time, and we started just slowly incrementing what we were doing because it felt good to be together in that way, because it felt good to create an environment of peace and calmness before bedtime. And because it worked, we went from nightmares, anxiety, waking up in the middle of the night several times, to being happy about bedtime, connecting throughout that time, and actually getting a full night's sleep where she does not wake up anymore and goes all the way to the end, or to the morning, and just we're ready for the day in a much more peaceful way. So teach your little ones these rituals, and if you do, or when you do, let me know how it goes. I would love to know how it feels for you to do this. Inside of my signature program, we go deep into all kinds of rituals to enhance the sacredness of your home and of your space. So if you want to get serious, if you really want to get serious about designing this kind of sacred space for yourself, for your children, and you want to go deeper into learning about these sacred rituals, I highly encourage you to check out the link below inside the comments, where you can book a free complimentary design session with me, where we can go through what it is that you are struggling with and how I can be of service. And I'm super excited that you guys were here. I will see you Yeah, next Friday. So if you try this ritual before then, please let me know. I would love to know how it went. And otherwise, I'll see you next Friday for Sacred Design Fridays with Paula at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Satnam.